Wagwan Generals, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Shift Gear podcast. I actually had someone ask me this weekend, what does Wagwan Generals even mean? And I didn't know that it wasn't like common lore that not everyone has seen the video. Kieran, you've seen the video, right?
Of Wagwan Generals.
Where it originated from? Like the
Actually,
very
I didn't know there's
original.
an original. I just know what Wagwan means, so I was like, all right.
Oh, you thought I like just made it up.
Yeah. Well, I know I've heard
No,
people like call people General, right? So it's like
yeah,
let's
yeah.
put it together.
No, so there's a video of these Man City players. It's Raheem Sterling and John Stones, and I'll play it another day. But there is a video to it. So if you just want to know the originations of Wagwan Generals, let's look that up. But we're not here to talk about Wagwan Generals or its originators. We got on the regional champion of the last weekend, Mr. Labella, who's been on the podcast before. I think his hair has gotten better since last time. This hair's unreal right now. Like look at the flow going up there.
Yeah.
And he went over with all that aura, and he won the Milwaukee Regional Championships, and we knew we had to have him on the pod, right? Good Canadian boy. You've been itching for this one, eh? Like this was a long time coming.
Yeah.
So Mr. Labella, welcome on the podcast. First initial reactions. How did it feel to win the Milwaukee Regional Championships?
Well, like I'm gonna give a basic response, like it just felt good. I don't think
Yeah.
it like fully hit me in the moment, but like yeah, it's definitely really good feeling to have. Probably top three.
Nice. Top
Yeah.
three, not
Top
one.
three, yeah.
All right.
Top
No.
three, eh?
Bro,
Damn.
Aneil, I don't know if you watched his winners interview, but he was pretty hyped in that one. So
I saw your initial reaction, but I didn't see the winners
yeah,
interview. Was it?
I love
It was
that one.
jokes?
Yeah, it was jokes. I don't know if I've seen this before. There was a reverse shout out as well.
Oh, I heard about this actually.
Yeah. So Labelle, tell
pretty
us about here, do another reverse shout out. Reverse shout out Zing again.
Yo, reverse shout out to Zing, man. He had no faith in me. He did not believe in me whatsoever. So like can't be shouting him out. Gotta like reverse shout him out. Gotta put him off the map, Reverse shout out Zing, not believing in me or Bolt.
Sometimes you gotta tell your boys to hold that. Like,
Exactly.
that this is fully justified. He needs to hold that if he didn't believe in you, bro. I don't know how many people actually did believe in Bolt going into the weekend. I think it was definitely like on people's radars, but it wasn't like at the very top. It's getting a lot of success in Japan, and I mean we'll touch on that in a bit. But maybe Kieran, we can start by letting Labella go through his list, his run, all the normal jazz. I'm sure people are really excited to hear this from you, because it's one thing to watch it on RK9 or whatever, follow pairings, but it's another thing to actually hear what happens. So maybe take us through that.
Yeah, so basically, this list works very different from like the last format Bolt, where it's just like a bunch of big basics that like just blow stuff up. This is kind of the same thing, but now like you got the knockout package and you got like a bunch of different like one press attackers. Most notably, the Baby Bolt really takes advantage of the slow evolution decks like Guardy and Dragapult. Like sniping those like little basics can give you like really quick like 2 to 3 prize lead in the game, which swings the matchup in your favor. The knockout package is just like really good to like find like the early game Crispins under Badoo, and it's just adds a bit of that late game consistency. So that's like the overall like gist of the Pokemon of the deck, like how it functions. The other like cards I got asked on why I played was mainly the Bravery Charm, the one of Bravery Charm, which seems like a little weird. Mainly it's for preventing Dragapult from having like a 3 prize turn, like 2 3 prize turns back to back, because that's how they usually win. They, like do 10 to like Phantom and like Hoot Hoot, kill the Hoot Hoot, and then you have 10 on the Phantom. So if you can't like get that off, like you can just like attach that tool to it, and they can't jamming tower it away and like stop the tool, because like you're gonna have area 0 in play most of the time, so just discard the fan rhythm. So just the one Bravery Charm prevents it from that. Also good against Guardy, preventing monkeys from doing the same thing, essentially taking like those like multiple prize turns against you. It's just good all around. Extra bonus that like you can just attach it to the Bolt to prevent like Blood Moon from killing it, making them have Gust too. So it's just good like all around, but mainly just for the Dragapult Guardy situations. The other cool card I played was Judge. Yeah, Judge is pretty sick. A lot of decks aren't really built for like to deal with the turn 2 Judge right now. Really good into Goldango if you open like a 2 prize or something. so you can't make that one prize board state to like take 2 before they can take 2. Like you just judge, attack with Phantom, and hope they don't have Evolution, Esearch Pro, Boss on one of your 2 prizers. And a lot of the time, they don't have that. So swings matchups like that in your favor. Just another like draw supporter in the deck, which is good. Disruption, love to see it. That's pretty much it on the deck, I'd say.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's very similar to what I've seen from a lot of Bolt lists, like a little twist, like you said. There's a couple of cards I wanted to ask you about. So I feel like a lot of people I talk to, they say Squawk has been like underwhelming for them in the deck. What are your thoughts on Squawk? Do you think it's a staple? Do you think it's not needed? We're using it a lot.
I really liked having Squawk. I wasn't using it like all that much, but just having it in the deck as like a potential option is like really good. Because like it's not like before in Bolt where it's gonna be trapped on your board forever. Like you have Jamming Tower to like bump it away. You can like even make the HP bigger with a Bravery Charm. So it's like not as big of a liability as like it was before. There's a lot of times where Squawk, you need like attach an energy to Baby Bolt turn 1 to like threaten 90 damage to kill like Droopy or Relt or something. So like a lot of times if you need dig for that energy, Squawk is really good for that. And I choose second into Gardevoir. So if they just go like open a basic, nothing on the bench, pass, and you want to dig for that donk, Squawk is really good for that too. Like I'm a big Squawk fan just in general. Like I'd rather just play the game with the Squawk on my board than not play the game at all. So yeah, I really like having Squawk in the deck
That
as
makes
like
sense.
a potential option.
So there's some weeks, guys, that I come on this podcast and I'm not prepared at all. Okay. This week I came prepared. I brought my Ryo
Hey.
Furia Ancestral Baby Bolt. And I
Wow.
wanted to use this to lead into my question about Baby Bolt. Tell us about Baby Bolt. I know there's a lot of talk about this. This is for the Dragapult matchup, obviously. But were there any other applications where it surprised you? What were your thoughts on the card overall and going forward?
Yeah, like this that card was probably the most broken card in the deck. Yeah, it's really good against Dragapult, good against Guardy. Like it was just good into like everything. Like even like the decks like people don't think it's like whatever into. Like it's just good all around to like potentially like snipe like whatever. Like in Goldango, it is just really annoying for Goldango to deal with that because if you're able to like get a one price board, snipe 90 with 3P, like even if like baby Goldango, that can't one shot it. Like if they evolve, it does 120, it has 130. Like if you can if you open like that and a Crispin, don't have to bench a two riser, like put 3 energy on that thing, like you're just winning like every Goldango game, which is pretty funny. Also, I got like 7 energies on that thing one game this weekend. I sniped a Fez, so that thing can definitely take 2 prizes.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't respect that. You just keep attaching to it over time. Make them take 1.
Nice.
Or else it can be a big threat like that. So yeah, that is really
one question I had about a card I've seen popping up on a lot of Bolt lists that I think kind of supports the Baby Bolt is the energy switch. Did you test the energy switch, or did you just not like come to the conclusion you don't need it?
Yeah, I thought it was really bad because like if you whiff an energy turn 1 and like you need an energy switch turn 2 to do 90, like you're gonna get badooed. Like you can't energy switch anyway. Like I don't know why it's in the deck. Like that can't really be an option. I don't know. There's like not really a situation this weekend where I found myself needing an energy switch.
Nice.
So speaking of that, I know you fellas have been on this deck for a minute. It was almost like a month you guys were testing this, right?
Yeah.
What were some cards that maybe were like your 61st, 62nd cards, some tech options that you were thinking about? Was there anything that you wish kind of made the list?
Yeah, there's 2 main ones we had. So the first one was a Cornerstone Ogre Pawn.
Oh yeah.
Just to like solidify the Goldango matchup, you can just set up a 1 price board with the Cornerstone so you can just knock Owl, and they can't really touch that. So it just basically gave Goldango an auto win. We ended up cutting that though, because like we just thought the matchup was just good anyway. We don't need it. Cornerstone is also good like into wall decks and like Zorarch, I guess, but I don't know. I wasn't really worried about the wall decks. I didn't think that was gonna be popular. And Zorarch's a pretty good matchup anyway. So I ended up cutting that one. The second card I had in the list originally was Turo. I think Turo is actually really cool in this deck. I just ended up cutting it for Judge. I thought Judge was going to be better overall. But yeah, Turo is really cool because like I thought Terra Box was gonna be cool, and I was scared people were gonna like splash in Maractus to the decks because like I only have Prime Catcher as a switch out, so like if I use my Prime early or I don't have access to it, and they just Sob Trap something or Maractus Trap something, like it's just a really easy way to lose. Also, it's another switch out against like Counter Catcher to do trap, so like I can like knock Owl, and like throw it back, or like just reset knocked out, or like it's even really good to squawk too, because I can like squawk turn one and like throw it up later, so it's like not as much of a liability. It's just like a good card all around. I just felt like I think I'd rather have like everything else in the deck, but if I could play 61 cards, it'd probably be a Turo or third Area Zero. Area Zero is like really good. You kind of need like to find that as early as you can. It'd just be those.
Yeah. I mean, I think the list is like very solid. I mean, I look at it, like you can tell you get what needs to get done. Like it gets set up consistently. Yeah, I think the meta definitely shifted a lot for it because I think like the slow Pult kept rising, which is a lot easier to beat than the fast one. I guess the other one's not fast, but faster.
Yeah.
I think the Joltic box is probably a great matchup as well. So seeing that go up and play probably makes Raging Bolt good. So where do you think Raging Bolt sits in the meta now? Do you think it's still in a good space? Do you think it's easy for people to react to this? Or do you think it's just kind of unchecked still? It's still a very solid play.
I think it's a decent play. I don't think it's gonna like win again because like people are gonna like respect it more and probably like build their decks to like better deal with this. I can also see a world where people are splashing like one of Maractus or something in their decks. They see like the only one Prime Catcher out, so like if they like Genesect and like Boss and Maractus or something, like I have no way to retreat with this deck. So some just net decks this and they're playing against that, they kind of can't win. I do think like this would be respected. I think a really good play for the next event, if I was going, would be EV Box because EV Box farms my deck. Yeah, I just think like we're gonna see like a lot of decks like EV Box. I have a favorable Bolt matchup and just like are good like all around. I was like I can see that rising to popularity.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
This
I
is,
don't. Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. And your list I like as well because this is a list that me and Karen normally if we saw in like a top 8 and there's already a Raging Bolt we looked at, we're like, oh, just another Raging Bolt list. We'd probably skip over it. But what I really like about your list is that one judge, right? Like you're kind of throwing people for a loop in those matchups where they need to set up a little bit more to disrupt yours. And I think the judge is really important because a lot of decks assume you just can't refresh their hand. So that's the one thing that stuck out to me with your list. I really like that one judge. But other than that, like super solid. And I think again, it's one of those decks like Raging Bolt will perennially live on because the card is good. No matter what it is, like you can always expect to see a few Raging Bolts here and there. And we've known how long for like 6-7 months now that at every tournament there's probably going to be 5% Raging Bolt or more. So love this.
Yeah, I want to break down maybe your matchups because you went undefeated 14-0-2. Very impressive. So you don't have to give us like this happened this round, this. Like what were your matchups like overall? Were there any matchups that you think you kind of scammed or got lucky against, or like you played really well or something interesting happened? I'll give you the floor to kind of go over that.
So my round one, very close one. I got a no-show.
A no-show.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I got a no-show round one.
Oh man. Wait, what was that list? Yo, click on that again. That was kind of fire.
He probably just submitted some random stuff because he knew he wasn't going.
Nah, this is lit, bro. This is lit.
Yeah, I would have lost to this if he showed up. Wait, can I Zorarch even evolve to that Zorarch?
Oh no, it can't. No. It's not Ed Zora.
He'd be pretty disappointed.
So this is just some trolling. I love it from Andrew Nunez.
Shout out Andrew Nunez for real.
Yeah, so I got essentially a bye round one. Round two, hit Guardy. It was like Brent Guardy, but -1 card for extra Screamtail. I had 2 Screamtail. That was like the only noticeable change I made. I'm pretty sure it's just the M59. Like yeah, no Turo.
I mean, foreshadowing, you farmed Brent this tournament.
Dude,
yeah,
hit
him twice.
Your opponents were stacked.
Yeah, dude, my day 2, like my Swiss rounds in day 2 are actually crazy.
Yeah, Caleb and Ian into Brent.
And I tied my last one, but that was crazy. Like I went through the gauntlet.
Even day 1, you hit Callie here round 4. It's a very good opponent for round 4.
Yeah.
Even Justin.
I had Justin's playing Brent Guardy too. I hit 3 Brent Guardies and another Guardy, which is the same 59. So
there's a lot of merit though to hitting like good players on your way because it keeps your play sharp, right? right? Like I've found that in my tournament runs when I hit better players, I always do better because you're like you know you have to be locked in. You sit down across the table from like Ian Robb, you're like, all right, I gotta lock the hell in. So that probably helped you a little bit,
well,
right?
So you said, Christian, that you think Flareon's a bad matchup, but you beat Ian and you beat someone else, Steven, playing Flareon. So what happened there?
Okay, so against Steven, on the first one, I definitely high rolled. I sacked him a lot because this matchup is like it's bad because they can like they have Briar, so they can like almost always prize race you unless like they open a 2 prizer and I'm able to take like the first 2. And both games they opened a 2 prizer and I was able to take the first 2. So they got pretty unlucky with that, and I was just able to capitalize on that. So that's what happened against Steven. Against Ian, game one I didn't draw well at all. So I kind of lost that. It was close though. I did like a late game like Judge Front Catcher and trapped Knockdown attack with like Baby Bolt, kill something. And I had like game next turn with Ian top deck boss. So like game 1 was kind of like that. Game 2, having game 2, game 2. I think I went in with Enerum attack Judge, and this deck needs a lot to set up, especially since they can't match a Terra Pokemon turn 1, or else I'm gonna Prime Catcher kill that almost every time. Like they need to find like off the Judge, like Knockdown, Terra Pokemon, and then like other cards to, like help them set up, because like this deck needs a lot turn 2. Like assuming they don't do that much turn 1. So I did that. They weren't able to like function, so I was able to take the first 2 with the Judge. Then game 3, Ian's start was pretty slow, and I was able to capitalize on that.
Nice.
Taking first 2 again, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, besides that, was there any other matchups you hit here where you don't think they were fine? Because I see you hit a lot of Joltic Box, which I know is a good matchup. Yeah, overall, like, I think you're happy with what you hit?
Yeah, I was pretty happy. This is pretty much what I was expecting to hit. Like a couple bad matchups being like the EV box. A lot of Brent Guardy. I thought I was gonna hit the most Brent Guardy this weekend, and I think I did. But yeah, this is exactly what I expected. I don't know how favored the Brent Guardy matchup is though. Like I know I went like pretty much undefeated into it, but yeah, I don't know how favored it is for Bolt. I'm pretty like Brent did get a little unlucky not being able to find candies. That like pretty early. But yeah, I don't know how favorable that matchup is. It's probably like a little favored for me, but like not like extremely favored where like it's like 80-20 matchup or 70-30.
Yeah,
I'd say it's more like 55-45, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's that.
How do you think the Andrew Nunez matchup is?
That was an auto loss. I got bailed out. He didn't show up.
This is still the funniest thing I've seen all day. Shout out this guy, man. This guy is actually like, this is jokes. I love this.
Bro, like for our audio listeners, because I guess we didn't describe it. He has a deck list. It's like 4 Rolls, 1 Gardevoir EX, 4 Klefki, 1 normal Zura, 2 End Zorarch, 1 Dragapult, Squawk, Drifloon, Gouging Fire. So
like like if I were to not go to an event, I would probably just submit like the most like jank thing possible. But this person actually put time into this. Like they were typing into whatever the software is to get all these different cards, and there's a lot of random different cards. So I would love to talk to Andrew Nunez and see what thought went into this, because that is like the funniest thing I've ever seen. So shout out Andrew Nunez. For
Aneil, do you know the lore about the James Cox Guzzlord list?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Labella, do you know about that?
Like OCIC.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I think I know this. Yeah.
Yeah, he just like submitted like a deck of like Guzzlord and 59 energies, like as a placeholder, and then he forgot to like update to his real list, and then like he started really well at OCIC, and then like they deck checked him. It's like, well, like unfortunately that has to be a DQ. Like obviously he wasn't trying to cheat. He literally just forgot to submit his list, but it was like a very unfortunate mistake. So.
Oh, that is tough. Okay, well. I guess Andrew didn't have that problem.
No. The other thing I noticed here is you didn't hit Dragapult until top cut, which I feel like is kind of crazy when it's like 20% of the meta.
Yeah, it was definitely. I keep dodging Dragapult at tournaments because the last one I went to, like Vancouver, I think Dragapult was the most popular deck there too. I didn't hit one until I hit Drake and Asim, so I'm definitely doing a really good job at avoiding the top deck.
Yeah,
skill diff for real.
I mean, it went down and played a little bit this tournament. It looks like 17% according to Limitless Labs, but still, like, yeah, that's crazy not to hit one. I mean, you hit.
I didn't hit one
either
in 12 rounds actually.
Really?
Yeah, there. Yeah, no.
Do we need to go over your run, Aneil? Let's go over your run real quick.
Oh, I don't care. We can if you want. It's kind of
Well,
boring.
I mean, you told everyone you were playing Dragapult and you switched. You said
No, I
Jolt
didn't.
Box, didn't you?
I
Am
said I
true?
wouldn't play Dragapult.
Oh, you wouldn't. Oh, my bad. I got it mixed up. All right, so you stayed true to your word. You played Joltic Box with Volcanion. A little
Look, man,
spice.
I didn't know what I was doing. I played 4 games of this deck before the tournament. My boy just handed me this. He said play it. I said okay. So shout out Austin. He carried me through this tournament. My tournament run wasn't really spectacular. Like I don't really have anything to say about this. Volcanion was for mirror. It was really good. We don't play Gravity Mountain. We don't play any
that card is
stadium.
fake, bro. Like, how are you drawing a stadium with this deck? You draw no cards. So yeah, that's fine.
I don't know, man. But we didn't play it, so I had no way to like one shot a Guardy or Dragapult like ever. Unless you're using Clefairy against Dragapult. So the idea was Volcanion can also serve as a burn option for that. The one issue with Volcanion, as people know, is you have to have it on the bench prior to getting knocked out for it to actually do anything. So it takes a lot of value away from it. I will say I used it against other Pikachus very effectively, but other than that, pretty whatever. The one thing I did list to, so if you can go to my matchups real quick. I don't know if it'll show. Yeah, so round 3, I'm playing
Let's
against
go.
Frostlast. Can you blow that up? Do you notice anything?
Yeah, neutralization, bro. This guy's cooking.
Yeah, I had no answer to neutralization zone, so I couldn't bump it ever. And my Galvantula obviously has an ability, so it dies really fast. So that one pretty south pretty fast. And this person ended up doing pretty well with your deck.
Top 128. So Neil,
Yeah.
While we're on the Frostlast topic, I do have to give some shout outs. So in the junior division, I don't know if you know what deck won, but a big shout out to Cal. He won with Frostlash. I've been working with Cal for probably the past 6 months, and Cal was an amazing player before I started working with him. But it was super cool to see him take Frostlash all the way in juniors. And he beat some great opponents. He beat Annabelle, he beat her brother, and then he beat Brian in Top Cut. He was down 1 game in all of them. Legendary run taking Frostlash to the top. You love to see it. I also give some other shouts to my students. Arissa got top 4 Terapgos, which was hype. In seniors, Asha, she got her first top cut. Shout out to you, Asha. Then also there's more Frostlash, but there's some spice in this one. I'll have to show you guys this. I think this might be Bronzong's first day too.
Yo.
The little homie Jonah. That's just his cooking. He played Bronzong Frostlash. So
that card actually seems really good in Frostlash.
Yeah. I wasn't sold because I think still against Gardevoir they have some outs with like Monkey Dory and stuff, but it definitely makes Dragapult like very, very favored. So that was really cool to see. So lots of cooking in the younger divisions this weekend, which I love to see. So
that's absolutely jokes. I love that.
Anyways,
those people with the Frostlash.
Exactly, the Frostlash squad. His dad Kevin was like, we should get like a blue jacket gang going for the Frostlash squad.
Blue jacket gang. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to just jump back then now to like the Masters results. I don't think anything crazy happened this weekend. The one thing I noticed was maybe the rise of Zorarch. We had 2 make ASIM. They both lost. But I feel like that's a deck that we've kind of had like low on our radar. It kind of picked up a little steam when it got top cut at Seville. And now it's
low on their radar. We had it in the thumbnail last week.
We did have it in the thumbnail last week.
We said, what is the play for Milwaukee was the title. And we said, play Zorarch.
So we had a couple in cut. We had Evan Pavelski, the senior world champion. We had the Zing God, Lucas Zing. Reverse shout out Zing again.
Reverse shout out.
So yeah, we see Zorarch doing really well. And I think the credit goes to Liam Halliburton. He's the one who kind of came up with this build that everyone's playing. So I'll start with you, Christian. Where are you on Zorarch? Do you think this is a real deck? Do you think it's still mid? Is it like going to pick up in popularity? What do you think?
I think it's actually a really cool deck. It's like a really good meta call for this event. However, I do think it's gonna decline in popularity because I won and the Bolt matchup for this deck is not good. So I think it will decline in popularity, but I do think it's really cool. Trade is like probably the most broken draw engine in the game right now. So yeah, definitely a really cool deck. Yeah.
Agreed. Every time I play Zorarch, I'm just like sometimes like I draw like a million cards and I'm like, okay, now what? Like my attackers are so mediocre, like half the time.
Suck.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have Moonlight Shuriken as like every attack, kind of.
Yeah, but again, there's a lot of decks where I'm like, well, this Flame Body Cannon doesn't really do much. It does, like obviously if you play against the evolving decks, like it's very, very strong. But
So
sometimes
what if,
you play against like both. You play the aggro decks, it just doesn't do anything. So
yeah.
I was gonna say is what if this adapts to beating Bolt by playing like extra Defiance Bands and extra counter catchers, and you just kept counter catchering Ogremon and blowing it up with Darmanitan with reversal. Like, I don't know. Like, there's got to be some sort of
Yeah, but
solution to this.
eventually you'll take the prize lead, won't you?
Eventually, you would probably take the prize lead, but isn't that a good thing in this sense?
Yeah, but then like let's say you get down to 2 or 1 prizes and they just knock out Zorarch or something or Fez. How do you take? I guess
You
you
gotta
would
go.
take Blood Moon
You go
last
bear.
sense, but
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe it could work. I don't know.
We need some innovation here, guys. We can't just give up on Zorarch. I think this deck is legit, man. We've been saying this. This deck is good. It's again one attacker away, as it always is, but you know, people don't know how to answer it. I think that's the most important thing. I think a lot of people don't realize how much Reshiram actually hits for until you're getting slapped in the face.
Actually, I'm surprised Lucas lost to Dragapult in Top Coach. I feel like it was a good matchup, but
It is for sure.
let's see it. Where did Evan lose to? He lost the Flareon
Wait,
Box, which is
you
probably a
cannot beat
horrible
Flareon.
matchup. Yeah.
You cannot beat that.
Yeah. So yeah, so you kind of alluded to this, Christian. You think Flareon Box is a really good deck that's kind of under-repped right now. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
it's really,
slowly
really
been
good deck.
climbing in the meta game. It's up to 4.5%. So I'm kind of curious how some of its matchups went. So I mean, on paper, its matchups seem okay. Bad against Joltik Box, but that's fine. So yeah, on paper, this seems really good. So why do you think Flareon Box hasn't seen as much play? And then do you think it's going to start jumping, especially because you won with Raging Bolt now?
Yeah. Why didn't see as much play? Honestly, like, I don't know. Like I was looking at the top tables chart this weekend, and like there's like a lot of Flareon Box like towards the end of the tournament at the top. Yeah, I do think it's definitely gonna go up since like like it's a good counter to Bolt, so definitely we'll see more play, and it's just a good meta call around. I think the main reason why there wasn't like as many Flareon Box as like there were Bolt or Zorarch, was probably because like the Guardy matchup is like pretty sketch. Like it's not that great compared to like the Guardy matchup of Bolt and Zorarch, like all the other decks. So and Brent Guardy was very popular for this event. So that's probably the reason why a lot of people put it off. But like outside of Brent Guardy being a very sketch matchup, like I think everything else in this, like all the other matchups are like pretty solid, like overall. Although the deck can be like a little jank and like have trouble setting up like a couple times, like depending on how, like if you can build a really consistent Flareon Noctowl list, like I feel like you're just like set to like do well at the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like everything is kind of back to matchup roulette again. Anyways, every big deck has one really bad matchup. It seems.
Yeah.
And, like it's been a minute since we've had like that defined of a situation, but yeah, it definitely seems that way.
Well, I think we've definitely seen like the maturity of the format now, because I think decks like Golden Go and Gardevoir are kind of like getting hated out a little bit. I mean, obviously they're both still well, but like Genesect in a lot of decks. I mean, you can see Gardevoir's win rate was really bad this weekend because people are ready for it now. People are playing decks like Joltik Box. People are playing like stuff like Baby Bolt.
I would also add, sorry, that Joltik Box I don't think is a bad matchup for Gardevoir. I can touch on that after when we talk
I
about
actually
Joltik,
think
but
for Brent, I think for Brent Guardy too. Brent Guardy's favored into Gardevoir, but like you have to be very good at playing the matchup. I feel like probably. I mean, the Gardevoir still did very well overall. I mean, there's also just a lot of people playing it, but yeah, I agree with you, Neil, because like you just play like I don't know, like make a Gardevoir, they can't knock it out.
Yeah.
Like here the data shows it's 50-50 actually.
Oh, that's even better than I thought, to be honest. It felt like it was 40-60 for Joltik. Because you get to the second hands, and I mean, we'll touch on Joltik in a bit, so maybe I'll save it. But it's tough to.
We can touch on Joltik now if you
longevity.
want. So where do you think? So Joltik, I think, was the big riser in terms of play this weekend. I wasn't surprised at all. I expected this to rise. I didn't expect it to rise this much. I think it was like over 10%. It was the second most played deck, I think, or no, third most, I think, after Dragapult and Gardevoir. Overall, I don't think it had a crazy good weekend for how many people played it. It did get top 4, but then if you look, there's only one other one in top 32. So Neil, what are your thoughts on Joltik Box since you played it? Is it going to stay as the aggro deck? Is Raging Bolt going to take back that title? Is this deck good?
The Bolt matchup is bad, so that doesn't help with this. I do think this deck is good. It was, for me, at least for my situation, I just needed like a finish to secure my Worlds invite, so I wanted to play something fun, something I can kind of just like not think too much. And this deck is exactly that. Like if you guys are looking for a deck where I think I tweeted at like 2 in the morning, I'm going 0-4 in day 2 from the bar with a picture of 2 drinks in front of me. And I tied my last round just to guarantee a placement, but I think I probably would have went 3-1. Like the deck does not require much in the brain, which is fantastic news for people who just want to go out there and smack stuff. In terms of what the deck is as a whole, you're obviously a hands deck. You're very reliant on having those targets and having your hands survive. The one issue I had with it personally is the longevity throughout the game. You really feel yourself falling off towards the end. You're gonna take your first 4 prizes, and then you're gonna be like, "What the hell am I doing for this last one?"
Just
It
draw
gets
boss,
really,
bro.
really tricky. Yeah, just draw boss. And the mirror is also really, really stupid. The mirror is literally just boss simulator if you
Yeah,
don't
it
play
makes sense.
Volcanion. So yeah, I think the deck is real. I think it's here to stay. As far as like what it is as a deck, it's probably like a low A, high B tier kind of deck. I think, in my opinion, it's a great choice for NAIC. If you want to kind of turn your brain off and just smack things, it is a lot of fun. But past that, I learned pretty quickly it's not really my type of deck. I didn't have a crazy amount of fun playing it, but I think it is a good deck and one deck that needs to be respected.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's like I think we said this last week. It's a very high floor, lower ceiling type of deck.
Yeah.
For sure. Nice. I mean, I think we saw Dragapult. People were like exaggerating, like if it was dead or not. Like both versions got 2 in top cut. We had 2 and top 8. Sorry, in top cut. If I extended, there was even more Dragapult. There's 1, 2, 3, 7 Dragapults out of the 14 slots. So half a top cut was Dragapult. So I think Dragapult's demise was very prematurely said. So I mean, is there like did people stop respecting Dragapult? Is it just like it's too hard to beat Dragapult even if your matchup's good on paper? Because I don't know, it just felt like every time I'd watch the stream, it's like, oh, Dragapult shouldn't be favored in this matchup, and like Dragapult's still somehow pulling them out. So,
Yeah.
Christian, what do you think about Dragapult? Is it still just the S tier deck above everything else?
Yeah, I think it's always gonna be like that. Like I don't know, the deck's just like if they didn't make Dracloak so like good, bro, like why did they give that thing like a good ability? Like,
Yeah.
bro, I don't know. I feel like there's like we have Clefairy now, and it still remains like the most popular deck. Like it's just hard to counter. Like it's just like a good deck around. I don't think they'll ever like be like a bad play to a tournament.
I agree, and I think we see the Dusknoir version seeing some success. I think partly in response to Gardevoir doing so well, because I do think the Dusknoir version has a much better chance, and I actually think that the Dusknoir version into specifically Brent Guardy, it actually is very close to 50-50 because like Brent's Guardy does not respect Bidoof very well. Like it's not like Henry's version where there's like Jacques and like higher counts of like Kirlia. So yeah,
I think with Dragapult too is like it's always gonna reflect the skill of the player. So you can see like these players who are playing it here, like you recognize most of these names, right? And there's probably 100, 200 other Dragapults in the room that didn't come close, but with Dragapult, there's always that ability to kind of outskill your opponent and get higher up. And I'm obviously very, very biased in this take, but I feel like Dragapult is a healthy BDIF. Like I like it as a BDIF because it takes a lot of skill to pilot. Like I do remember when we had Charizard as BDIF, and I don't mean anything to Charizard players, but it definitely was a little bit simpler. And it got annoying kind of fast. I haven't heard a crazy amount of complaints about Dragon Ball being BDIF yet. It's no Palkia V-Star, which I think we're all happy about, or Lugia V-Star, or any of that. So you can see these top players, like these are all recognizable names. They're all very good at the game, and they kind of had to skill their way through a field of bad matchups. Like when I played it, it wasn't like that. Dragon Ball didn't have a bunch of bad matchups in the field. These guys fought through war to get to where they are on this standings list. So much respect to all these people and getting through all the Clefairies and Brent Guardies.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not like broken. It feels very fair for a top. It's very clearly like the best deck, but like it's not like Lugia or Palkia where it was like overwhelmingly like way better than anything else you could play. And it's not like very counterable, but like there's counters to it. You can build your deck like we see like stuff like Zorarch, stuff like the Jolt deck, stuff like Sylveon EX. But it really doesn't feel like Dragapult has any matchup that's worse than like 40-60 to be honest, just because the deck is that strong.
Says a lot of answers, man. I think Dracloak is a healthy card. It needed that support. I don't know what it would have done if Dracloak wasn't good. I don't know. I don't think the deck would be any good at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think it just kind of carries the deck. So I think the last deck there's a Sairlight in top 32. It's kind of funny.
That's pretty lit.
The Reveroom.
Interesting. Mamoswine.
Yo, Mamoswine? That was 1, 2, 3, 4. At 4-1-1? That's kind of hype. Oh, actually, no, this is the guy. Was he on stream? He made day 2 with Mamoswine. Oh, no, I was thinking of Slacking. There's a guy on Slacking who made day 2. He was on stream the last one. I wasn't say. Yeah, the last thing I want to talk about, guys, was like Golden Go, where we think it is in the meta. I think it's still, like, I've always been very high on Golden Go. I think it's a very strong deck. It seems like people have kind of just decided that Pengo is the way to go. So Caleb got a top 16 after his top cut in Monterey. Jishen followed up his top cut with like a 34th place. So I think as a whole, Dengo didn't do amazing this weekend, but a lot of good players seem to be on the deck. Just like scanning this list, we see Cyrus, we see Cali White on this as well. Got the GOAT LDF. So, Aneil, where do you think Golden Go kind of sits in the meta right now?
Yeah, I think it's almost forgotten about a little bit, right? When you're thinking about some of the top decks, sometimes it feels like people don't respect it the way
For how
they
much
should.
play rate it gets, like it doesn't get that much talked about.
Yeah, it feels forgotten, man. I do think the deck is really, really good, but I also agree with what like Labella was saying earlier, that like the deck really struggles with disruption sometimes, especially on turn 2, which is really surprising because it has like a built-in draw engine. But you're very, very linear, right? Your deck is super linear, especially against Bolt. Like you need to go 2/2/2. So for that reason, I think it might scare a few players off. There is obviously a lot of skill involved with piloting the deck successfully, but there isn't as much maneuverability as you would like. So I think the deck is still like A-tier deck. Like you got to respect it. But I definitely think it's fallen off the radar a little bit more than it should have.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think also just the rise of Genesect is like bad for the deck, right? Like like you rely so out of any deck in the format, you rely on your A-Spec the heaviest. So actually, I do know that Caleb and Grant, they actually went up to double Vessel this weekend in anticipation of Genesect seeing more play, which I thought was a nice little adaptation on their end. Actually, one other deck I think was cool is I saw, Jackson played. He couldn't put Zard down. He played Pult Zard with Hero's Cape.
My God. We need to take that guy's Zards away from him, man.
I know. So I guess, try to make the Gardevoir matchup better by including that Charizard. And honestly, Charizard probably makes your aggro matchups better as well. And he played Hero's Cape, so like you can survive against a lot of stuff. So he told me that the Dengo matchup is horrible, which he did lose to. He beat one and lost to 2. He lost a couple Zorarchs, but I don't know. This could be maybe something to put on the radar. It looks like he was farming those Gardevoirs 4-0. So
Pulsar went kind of crazy in Japan this weekend too, I believe.
Yeah, we were gonna look for that next. Yeah. Before we go now, I want to see what the highest placing Frostlash was. Was it the guy that beat you? Yeah, it was. Okay, top 128.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
freaking neutralization zone, bro. I didn't even know that deck played that. I was like, yo, I'm chilling. I was not chilling.
Yeah, the play rate's going up on Frostlash, guys.
We're manipulating.
Yeah.
Slowly.
I just love this deck. It's so fun.
It is pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Well, we have a second, Labella. What are you gonna do with your 10 Gs?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. Probably gamble it. I can get double that.
What,
I don't know. I'm gonna
black or red? Black or red?
Bro, have you seen that clip of the one guy who like bet all of his life savings on roulette?
I did see that.
Did he win?
Bro, he won. What do you take? I think he picked black.
I can't remember.
I remember, but I'm gonna watch the video and bet what he did.
Yeah,
I think it was black. Actually, no, I'm going all red.
All red. All right.
All in on red.
Double up.
I'm gonna see this guy pull up to the next League Cup in some like exotic supercar. Like, all right, brand new whip, got no keys.
Yeah, I'm looking here. I don't see the Champions League on Limitless. Is it? Do I have to go to Pokeka Book? It might be on Pokeka Book.
This website's my favorite because my computer always breaks when I click it because it's trying to translate every single word on the page.
All right, Champions League, Aichi.
All right.
Yeah, so Pulsar won. I actually haven't even looked at this list yet, but
Damn, I'm more locked in than you this week. What's going on?
Okay, well, this is like 480. I am feeling okay. I don't know. It wasn't on Limitless, I guess. I thought it was gonna be there when I looked. All right, this is like 480p. You guys can look at this.
480 is really generous.
Yeah,
man.
so I mean, like, yeah, it is very generous. It has a lot of the new cards. It has the Psyduck to counter the Dusknoir, the Shaman to counter bench stuff. What card is this? Is this Chi-Yu?
What is that? I can't even make out what that card is.
I have to click this to make it better. Oh, here we go.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, Chi-Yu. The one with revenge. We have Rocket's Watchtower to show off the Noctiles, and I guess like stuff like Pidgeot, Fan Rhythm. So I feel like this deck is just like very teched out in terms of having a counter for everything, and then probably just relying on the raw strength of like Dragapult and Charizard together. So yeah, I mean, cool. It's pretty cool to see, a new iteration of Zard coming back. So that's cool to see that win.
Jay Ford is happy somewhere, man.
Or do not show this to Jackson, man.
Or he's gonna have to update his guide there. More sales. All right, we have runner-up Takeru Raikou EX, which is I guess Raging Bolt. Compare this to Labella's list. Is this Iron Leaves? I think.
Yeah, it's Iron Leaves.
Yeah,
I
so there's
think
Iron
so.
Leaves.
Probably
in the
because Zard
deck.
is good again, right?
Yeah, so Zard is good. I guess we see Iron Leaves. I mean, it gives you some more retreating options. Otherwise, pretty similar, I think. Actually, I was gonna say there's 3 of the 1 prizes. I don't know if you need that many, Labella. What do you think? Do you need all 3 of these guys?
I don't know what Koraidon's for.
For
I'm not
vibes,
gonna
maybe?
lie. Yeah, just revives. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I don't think you need Koraidon.
Alright.
Takeru Raikou EX is pretty good, but I'll be honest, it's no Raiouforia like my card says in Portuguese. Raiouforia is sick. And Ancient is replaced with Ancestral, which
That is
is
cool.
absolutely insane. Yeah,
Ooh.
pretty sick. We have Hollow Charizard.
Yeah, so top
Oh,
4
man,
was
I'm
2
enjoying this.
Charizard decks. One with Noctowl, without a bait. Oh no, there's Trapper. Okay, I was just blind. And then the other one is just a more traditional Charizard with Dusknoir and Pidgeot. So it seems like Charizard is the deck that's just like coming back to life here in this format. So I'm actually
What's
kind
the
of
translation for Hollow? What does Hollow mean? If
Where?
you scroll up,
Hollow.
what is Hollow Charizard? Is that Noctowl, Colorless, Pidgeot? Like, what does it mean?
In the comments, you guys know why is it Hollow Charizard?
Someone please tell me.
So guys, why do you guys think Charizard's coming back? Like, what deck is kind of getting pushed out of the meta a little bit with this new set that allows for Charizard? So historically, Charizard wasn't that good against Dragapult. Let's see the rest of the results. But I feel like Dragapult's still fine as a deck. I'm kind of curious where this is kind of coming from.
Psyduck nerfs it a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, like we've seen in our side that the straight Pult is more popular. But I guess the Dusknoirs do help manipulate things against Charizard. So that might be part of it. But both these lists don't play Psyduck. So maybe they're just saying like people aren't going to play Dusknoir anyways. But they play Dusknoir themselves. You can't play Psyduck. So
is the Rocket's Mewtwo, is that weak to Dark?
I have no idea what's week 2. It's just not very good. Tord didn't even make day 2, so that's how I feel like it's that sad. I mean, if Tord couldn't make day 2, probably mid.
Regional champion, you have any insight on this?
On Charizard or
yeah.
Tord?
On Tord, yes. Please tell me about Tord.
Yeah, I'm just gonna assume that Mewtwo's like weak to Dark. You have a good Bolt matchup, so it's definitely like I heard Bolt's good next format, so Bolt's good and Zard's probably gonna be good. I'm just gonna assume that Dragapult fell off because that's the only way I see Zard doing good. Oh my! Wait, is that a Frostlass?
Oh, bro, this deck's been like farming in Japan. The Marnie's Grimmsnell Frostlash deck, yeah.
Oh, don't let Kieran see this, man.
This is exciting stuff. Yeah, you play. I think it's called Spike Myth. It's like its ability to search your deck for Marnie's Pokemon in the stadium, so it's very consistent. And then Marnie, like, it kind of solves the Gardevoir matchup, which is like, it's not that bad for Frostlash, but it's definitely not like amazing. So you just have this like big beefy attacker. And in the early game, you still have Bidoof, so you can like play it like as the Bidoof Frostlash deck. And then once you're ready, you transition to this. And the nice thing is that its ability Grimmsnarl, when you go into play, you can put 5 Darks in play. So this list doesn't have it, but I've seen some lists even play E-Switch. So like you get all the energies in play, and you start E-switching to the monkeys and getting them all ready. So, I mean, yeah, like we see a lot of evolving decks, like stuff like Charizard, right? And like that deck really struggles into Bidoof and Frostlash. So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to cook some more maybe for NAIC. We'll see.
Thank God this photo's in like 120p, so you probably can't make out what these cards even are. Marnie's Orange EX is coming to an NAIC near you.
Yeah, we got Gardevoir in top 8. I mean, when I've been looking at City League results, Gardevoir's still killing it, so I'm not that surprised. One thing I've noticed is we've seen a lot of Shaman in a lot of decks, and I'm like, I haven't really seen much like Terrabox still. So it's going to be interesting if it'll eventually get to the spot where I think we were like Manaphy near the end, where it's like most decks were just like, whatever, I'm not playing Manaphy. And there was more Snipe in that format, so I'm curious to see if as this format goes on, if we see Shaman fall off. Maybe because Bolt is so popular, Shaman's actually pretty good because you block Baby Bolt. Can block the Bolt bots like Labella, but yeah, I think that's maybe the main use for Shaman in this format, actually.
Every man is a tech for Labella now.
Yeah.
He's not welcome around here.
Right, we got more Raging Bolt. We have a Booster EX plus Nymphia EX. I know Nymphia means Sylveon. I don't know what Booster EX is.
Booster EX.
So, I mean, yeah, I guess we're just seeing like more Flareon Box, kind of similar to our format. There's a Wellspring sneakily in here as well. So maybe people aren't playing Shaman, which people probably won't bench it if you're playing this deck. So they'll be like, oh, they don't play any Snipe. You can sneak that Wellspring in. And they play best of 1 in Japan, so like I feel like that's actually a really good surprise tech. Your opponent can't prepare for that. In terms of like, you know, game 2 benching a Shaman, because there is no game 2 if you win game 1.
True.
Yeah, cool to see this. Holy, we have a lot of the Marnie's deck in here.
So much Marnie's Orange, bro.
Another one. Oh my god, bro.
Holy.
3 in a row. That's crazy. They're all playing the box, it looks like, too. Interesting. Okay, I hope this deck's not that good, because it is really, the deck is actually annoying to play against. So, as someone who plays it myself. And we have more Raging Bolt, Gardevoir. Oh, wall deck again.
It's very diverse.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest surprise is probably the Frostlash deck, and then I guess 2 of the Sylveon decks, and then the Walls deck, which honestly I think Walls just like kind of sucks. But
what's Riki Kieran EX?
That's a good question. I'm gonna guess Frigoref.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Riki Kieran.
Yeah, I always love looking up the names of the Pokemon in other languages. So I mean, Walls is just like a deck where it's like if no one respects you, you're just gonna beat them because they have no answer. So yeah, that's the Champions League. I think it's kind of weird to me that it's like Japan only releases the top 16. Like they don't have like us where we get all the deck lists. So you can get the data. So we're kind of in the dark, right? Because like the sample size is too small to really deduce anything, I think, from just this. But it is cool to see what's been doing well. I mean, Raging Bolt always overperforms in Japan at the start. So yeah, I think it's cool.
And our meta will probably look nothing like this. Well,
yes,
gets over
exactly.
Here, it never does.
Because we get to see stuff. So, and, I know you have a hard stop soon, but I wanted to go over some of the new cards from Black and White. Because it seems like we're basically just having like a reprint set.
I spent 3 hours last night looking for my electrics.
Bro, I own like 30 electrics. I was hyped when I saw it was a 1-to-1 reprint.
Buddy, that's a down payment now. You know that, right? They're like $60 each for the reverses.
Are they actually?
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna buy at that price, but I think that's what they were trending at.
Yeah, I have 4 reverse hollow ones, but
you have $240, buddy.
Let's go.
Congrats.
That's hype. So yeah, that's the first reprint. We have the electric, just 1-to-1 reprint from Noble Victories. 12 years later. So it's just one. It's like has flat feasibility if anyone just has been playing more recently. Honestly, Neil, I'm actually not that excited for electric to come back because it's gonna make Miraidon good again. Which I actually really don't think I'll agree with Jake Gearhart that it's healthy when the Iron Hands decks are very strong or can attack very fast. The Joltik box is already very good, right? So now we're gonna get more energy for it. So I mean, I just think obviously this is just gonna make like Hands or Miraidon or the deck just meta again. To be honest,
I don't think this needed a buff. I agree with you. Even as someone who's abused Iron Hands in the past, I will put my bias aside. I don't think it needed a buff. It does have 90 health though, and it's kind of been power crept a little bit. I think. I don't know. We'll see how good it actually is.
Oh, Floppy was a good last format. So, yeah, we have Energy Retrieval, Air Balloon coming back, Research coming back.
Is that a Juniper Research?
Yeah, Juniper Research because it's black and white set.
Oh, that's cool.
Actually, the art looks almost the exact same as the OG Professor Juniper art.
Yeah, it does.
We have Hilda. Switch your deck for 1 evolution and 1 energy. And that could be okay, to be honest. Doesn't seem amazing. Could be okay. Charon, just whatever. Prism Energy is a huge reprint. This is a card that was very, very strong from the black and white arc. It just counts as like any energy for basic Pokemon, right? So we've seen Luminous Energy see a lot of play right now, obviously with evolving decks. But now this is just, if you're playing an only basic deck, this is just better Luminous Energy. They had to wait for Lugia to rotate before they printed this one.
Prism was a classic. I also went looking for my Prisms. It's a cool card. I think it'll actually see a lot of play.
Yeah, that's it. We have Ignition Energy. This is a reprint of Triple Acceleration Energy. It counts as 3 colorless if it's attached to an evolution Pokemon, but you have to discard it at the end of your turn. So obviously this is like nice. A lot of stage 2s like they don't have energy acceleration readily available, so you can kind of play this as like a quick power boost. I'm sure this card will see some play in some strategies as well. That one is really I think there was the Zekrom EX, there's Superior EX. Superior just makes your Pokemon do 20 more damage. There's Emboar. This I think is the other really big reprint, the Inferno Fandango. This is a card that is basically Baxcalibur for fire. We saw this card win Worlds in 2011, so huge fallback. Right. So, Labella, were you playing back then or no?
No, dude. I started in like 2017.
Oh, okay, so you're
I was still eating fruit gushers in 2011. What do you mean?
You're gonna experience the black and white cards for the first time then.
He's a true Ute.
I mean, one thing I
didn't play the video game during this time,
nice.
Though.
The video games are very good. Those are some of my favorite ones. I was gonna say, so Aneil, when I've been looking at these cards, like most of them are 1-to-1 reprints of the black and white cards. So we know Kling Klang is gonna get a card in this set. Aneil, what are the odds that they reprint Shift Gear Kling Klang? I actually think it's going to happen. Like I think it has to happen.
if somebody from Pokemon is watching this, please do it. We need this. Speaking of which, I know I gotta hop off in a couple minutes, but yo, John Roberts II, the originator of Klinklang, came back to Pokemon this
That's
weekend.
true. We
He
saw
was
him
the
on the
guy.
winning in. Yeah.
Yeah, he won U.S. Nationals with Shift Gear Klinklang. He was the originator of our podcast name. I want to give him a shout out because that's absolutely unbelievable. But if we see Shift Gear Klinklang come back, oh man, it might be a long day. We're gonna have to play it to every tournament, like customarily. There's no choice. We have to play it no matter how badly we need to win. We're gonna have to play Shift Gear Klinklang. I think there's an 80% chance we see it.
Yeah, I think like there's no way it'll be good in this modern era. Just like it's like. Like we need better metal Pokemon. Like it needs a draw. They literally need to give like Dracloak's ability on Clang. But it'll be fun. I will play it at least the locals or something. Maybe I'll play it to a regional for fun. But
we can go through these. Maybe next episode we can go through all of them. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Sure, we'll eventually do a full black and white set review. I saw that they're releasing them as separate sets in English. There's gonna be like 400 cards with all the arts. So
there's gonna be 70 IRs.
Yeah, like that's gonna be crazy, right? So
it's nuts.
Yeah. So, all right, we can end it there. Labella, thank you so much again for coming. Congrats again on your win. So, floor is yours. Any shout outs? Make sure you give your reverse shout outs as well. Go for it.
Okay. Start off reverse shout out to Zing one more time, just for good measure. Really shout out to my dad again. Shout out to all my family and friends who are supporting me. Means the world to me. Thank you guys for having me. It was great being here. Thank you.
Nice. I like it.
I'll always give you the floor, man. Always give you the floor. You're always welcome back here. And your dad is actually the go-to.
Yes.
Man. The Labella family, the 2 members I've met, absolutely goated. Thank you so much for coming on. I want to give a quick shout out to all the Canadians who played this weekend. It's been a while since we had a Canadian regional champion, so thank you for holding it down for the squad there, Labella. Kieran, any parting words?
No, I know Endgame is doing a Labella sale, 20% off until Thursday. So use Labella's code this week. Do not use our code.
Do not use our code.
What's your code, Labella? Is it just Labella?
Labellster.
Labellster. Okay, and that's also his Twitter handle, so I'll put that in the description as well.
We'll throw that all down there. This weekend was the most I've ever been come up to and saying, hey, thank you for doing Shift Gear. So to all of you who came up to us, thank you so much, man. Didn't realize how much this thing was spreading, but we love when you come up and share your stories about Shift Gear with us too. A lot of people know more lore than even I do, and I think we create this podcast, so it's really impressive. Other than that, if you want to grab some endgames down below, Labelster's code, Shift Gear hats, these things are pretty snazzy. Grab one down below. But we'll be back next week with a full black and white series review, and we appreciate you all for being here.
If the cards all come out, maybe. Otherwise, we'll figure something else out.
Yeah, if the cards all come out. Otherwise, we'll do something else.
All right.
Thank you all for being here. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Later.